Well, we concluded our high school football spring tour 2015. It was an amazing 2.5 weeks. And of course, I wanted to finalize the tour with the guru himself from scvarsity.com, Jim Baxter now joins me. Of course, you'll catch Jim every Thursday night with me in overtime, and we will pick that up starting in July. So we're ready to rock and roll. Of course, we got a really good start, Jim, with spring practice, and I know you've been busy with spring practice as well. You didn't go on the tour with me, but you did your own deal. But talk about what you saw this spring. Good to see you. I see you got the bling. You ready to roll?
The bling ready to go. Great spring. I think football in the Midlands is going to be great this year. I think that, we were talking a little bit earlier. I don't think that there's a team in the Midlands right now that I could sit and circle and say, this is a team that is possibly going to go for a state title game. But I do think we've got talent in the Midlands area. I think there's some teams here that are going to compete deep in the playoffs. Don't know that we've got that one team that can kick the door in this year. I think Dutch Fork may have the best shot at that. Batesburg-Leesville is going to drop off a little bit. I think Keenan yet to be seen with a new coach over there. So we'll have to see what happens over there. But we do have some good football. Well,
let's start with Dutch Fork. Of course, they came off a state title game and didn't win it, lost to Hillcrest. But here's a team that you go back. They're out without Matt Colburn, I should say, the best player. He's gone to Wake Forest. Their best defender gone to Georgia Southern. When you look at what they have coming back, Jim, and as you said, this is probably the best team maybe to compete, to knock the doors down again for a state title game. But just quickly assess what they got coming back.
Well, they've got a lot of talent. They're going to miss Colburn. There's no doubt about that. He was about 90% of their offense. A lot of people point to the quarterback position and say, well, they lost their quarterback. They're going to have to rebuild. But Tom Knott's teams, you don't have to have a great quarterback in his teams. You have to have a quarterback that's serviceable, that can manage the offense. And I think they'll be able to find that. They've got some great skill players otherwise. I think Alec DeBoer is back at wide receiver, one of the best wide receivers in the state in the senior class. And defensively, they're going to be strong. Stephen Davis over there anchoring it down. Had a great performance recently in Nike camp up in Charlotte, and I think Dutch Fork's going to be just fine.
Another team that I like to look at is Spring Valley. Of course, Robin Bacon now the new head football coach out there replacing Dr. Jerry Brown. But this is a team that has Ryan Lee coming back at quarterback, a lot of good skilled players, but the line looked a little bit iffy to me. I know they got the work cut out for them on the offense and the defensive lines.
Yeah, several teams in the middle look like that, but you're right. Spring Valley's got some great skill players. They've got some defensive players. I thought they were going to take a big drop off last year with defense, but they managed very well, and this year they've got some guys coming back that are going to play good defense. The line on both sides is going to hurt them, I think, and running the flex bone, you've got to have an offensive line, so they're going to have to address that. Hopefully they can mature in the out-of-region play and be ready for region play when it rolls around.
Another team is Westwood that I liked, a team that, of course, was highly in the passage picks last year. But this is a team Coach Summers had that got a really good core, Jim. But when you talk about line again, they lost some good players. I thought they had the best defensive line in high school football, at least here in the Midlands last year.
They had a great defensive line last year, but what they really lost, and they were all about defense last year. We talked about their defense all year, but they lost all of their linebackers. They're having to rebuild at that position. If they can get that taken care of, they could be a very good football team this year.
Another team that we saw, a team in Lower Richland. Now, nobody talks about this team, but I like what Lower Richland, how they practice, the intensity, the discipline, everything that they got going on, Jim. Talk about what Lower Richland has coming this year. Good athletes out there.
They got some great athletes. Of course, Larry Collins, a wide receiver, one of the most exciting offensive players in the state. I think that this is a team that I don't know that they've turned the corner yet on the culture. I think that Coach Page has done a good job over there, but these are kids that they just don't quite know how to win yet. They're winning. They'll win some games. They'll win some big games. But can they handle the adversity when they get in tight games? That's remain to be seen. I just don't know if they can do it.
Well, a team that you're talking about knocking the doors down and Skeezer, we know that every year they're going to be there. That's Hammond, Eric Kimmery. Now he lost some players, but he has a quarterback that transferred in from North Carolina, I believe, or maybe in Virginia, Graham Smith. He has a big arm, Jim. I like the passing game, and I like how Kimmery runs his offense. Hammond, if there's anything, I think they might be the best team that has a chance to win another state title.
Graham's an interesting story in himself. He was actually a fifth-year senior because he had a car accident and had an injury, and because of that was granted another year of eligibility. But he was a Division I prospect before he got in his accident. I think he's going to help Hammond a lot. Another Skeezer team you have to watch, Ben Lippin. Derek White's got that team. He get that team's turned around. I've seen some of their athletes in camps in the off season. They're pretty impressive.
No doubt about it. We didn't get a chance to see Ben Lippin. They have finished their spring before we had a chance to get out there. Real quickly, Jim, your top couple of players right now off the top of your head that's going to be returning as far as recruiting is concerned in the Midlands?
Well, I think Brandon Tillman is a kid that's probably underrated by everyone, but I think Brandon Tillman may be the best player in the Midlands. Stephen Davis right there, obviously one of the top prospects in the state of South Carolina. Yafari Wirtz, quarterback at Newberry, just committed to Georgia Southern, by the way, another great one. I like Nick Graves at Lexington as a sleeper in the group. Nick Graves is a Division I defensive back playing over at Lexington. They played him at corner. I watched him in the spring. He played a little bit of safety, which is where I think he'll play at the next level, and he's already gotten 3 or 4 Division I offers.
No doubt about it. Well, you're going to have a whole lot more of this coming up in July with myself and that guy, Jim Baxter from scvarsity.com. That's going to wrap things up for our high school football tour 2015. We'll be back in a moment.